I'm here to introduce Theresa
Great.
and her first introductory class of the Queen's Code. I'm Steve Lund, the founder of Hawaiian Sanctuary Retreat Center, and I have the incredible privilege to be this my wonderful goddess's partner, Theresa, who's running the event tonight. And she asked me to introduce her, and I said, "Oh, I don't know. It's a women's thing, you know. Should a guy be in a women's thing or not?" And she says, "Absolutely. Come and introduce me, and then get out." I said, "Okay." So so here I am, and I wanted to say that the first thing that she taught me was that in order for me to be a king, I need to have a queen. And the first thing I need to do for her is to open the door for her on the car every time. And so I said, well, you know, kind of guys have a problem. Some guys don't want. I'm not opening the door for a girl. You know, I'm not doing that. And I thought, I thought about that, and I said, and asked her. I said, so why is it really important to you? And she says, well, haven't you always wanted a woman that you so love that you would open the door for her automatically, just because she was so crazy about her, you just wanted to open the door. And I said, well, yeah, I've always wanted a woman in my dreams that I would just go open the door for. She says, well, you have it right here, but you have to create it. And and then I said, oh my gosh, I can create my own relationships. After you find out you love somebody and you're with them. From there, it's my job to create the relationship. And I never realized that. I always thought that a relationship. I find a perfect woman, then I marry her or she becomes my girlfriend, and that's it. But every day I realize I create my relationship. And so I owe our relationship to Theresa's great wisdom. And we do truly create our relationships every day, and just keeps getting better and better and better. So I can't thank you enough, Theresa, for giving me the relationship of my dreams, the woman I've always wanted, the woman I open the door for every time. And congratulations on starting your new class. So there you have it. Theresa Joan Rucker, the woman of my dreams. Come here. Mwah. So that was the introduction here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was impressive. I knew it would be good. Yay.
Yay!
Yeah, you can run away. No, you can go hang out with the guys. That was pretty awesome. Woo,
Okay, let's break the poll out.
thanks. I create amazing relationships with family. So this is good. So it's kind of weird to get rid of heads up. I know we're actually gonna do that next. So I'm gonna have these two both read the book. Destiny was the first girl I gave my personal copy of my first copy of Queen's Code too. So it's pretty cool to have her on the island now. She's been a neighbor and friend for a while, and I just really look up to her. So I'm gonna turn the camera to you so you can do a testimonial. Is that easier? And it will be good.
Cool. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hi, I'm Destiny, and this is my daughter Divinity next to me here. And she definitely likes this. You may want to, if you can, Theresa or somebody, hold her for a moment. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, I have been great friends with Theresa now for quite some time, and she has been an awesome inspiration in my life, and definitely a second mom to me in a huge way. So she's been very close to me and close to my heart, and I'm getting emotional. Oh my goodness. But no, when it comes to relationships, the same thing that kind of Steve was talking about as well, about opening the door. I actually got to witness her do that in other occasions, not even just in her, personal relationship with Steve, but with all the men in her life. And to me, that held an example. And at first my thought was, wow, because she went to her door and she said, well, aren't you going to open my door? And to this guy that we met briefly. And I thought, wow, that was, very straightforward, very, I was like, is that ego? Like, is she stuck up? And then I thought, no, like she really understands like her value, her power, and what she deserves from not just her partner, but also all of her relationships and connections that she's making. And so, just as much as our personal love relationships are very important, I think also that she teaches how all of our relationships are very important in the way that we hold ourselves as not only women, but as men as well. And so, she's always been that shining light for me. And I'm very grateful that you've gifted me the Queen's Code, and not only gifted me that through the book, but also just through your example of living that in your life. And yeah, I feel like I've definitely matured more and got to see my own value more through your example of holding that energy that Steve was just mentioning too, which is what the Queen Code represents. And so I think that's really awesome. And, thank you for being in your power and speaking your truth. And I love you. And that's my testimonial. What do you mean? You queen? Of course the queen will get
Hello, thank you. Aloha. My name is Shannon, and I got to meet Theresa about a year ago, and we've gotten more close in the last several months after she gifted me the Queen's Code. She saw that I am on the process of getting married for the first time, and she's really helped me understand how to develop and set the intention before that big shift and that commitment that is what, we all kind of dream of, or what we think would be the ideal. And you can have that. I thought you would have to really work hard for it, but it's just kind of building this understanding of partner relationships, which of course then waterfalls into all your relationships. So for me, it's been quite a process of changing my beliefs and changing the way I think about things, because without good examples in our lives, which I have not had, then, you don't know what's really possible. So that's been a really good process for me. It's taken a little time because for me, reading the Queen's Code, there's so much good information. And the way I learn is to then put it into practice. So I'll read sections and really kind of process, and then, changing and shifting day-to-day choices and how we say things, how we interact with each other, from my students to my colleagues to my boss to my partner at home, and friends too. So it's been super helpful, and I can't wait to learn more. So I'm very grateful that I met Theresa at the perfect timing of all those things. So I can't wait to continue this process with all these other beautiful goddesses, and of course, Queen Theresa. Yay.
Yay!
I don't know if you want to pass this around again, but I kind of just want to know why you think you're here. What you think you or learn it, want to learn, or think you're gonna learn, or things like that. And so we can let you go first. Well, we can. All right. Are you good at that?
So my intention on being here is, number one, to support your new venture here and the circle of women. Definitely want to add some more women's circles to my life. And relationships are the basis of so much happiness in our daily life. If our relationships are not well, it affects us on all levels, health and wellness, mentally, emotionally, physically. So relationships are important, and I know part of my path is to improve my relationships in this world and community. So relationships are very important living in a community type setting. You really, so I always have to hone my skills. Yeah. Yeah. And a really loving, hot relationship wouldn't hurt either. A really loving, hot relationship with a guy wouldn't hurt either. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, hello again. I guess the relationships, what I get out of this is just the interaction, and hearing other people's testimonials really is helpful, to hear that other people are going through something similar, or what they've tried and worked or didn't work, is always beneficial when we're learning new things. So that would be the huge benefit for me, interacting with other women on this journey. Yeah.
Gotta situate the little bean. There we go. Yeah, right? What's your testimonial? She's like, I'm just love all around. So, right. So my intention of being here really is to support Theresa, of course, and obviously being open to learning and showing up for myself in a major way by showing up here for my relationships and learning more deeper into that. Therefore, I create, healthy relationships, which is very important for me, especially with having my little baby here and being a single mom. And so to create a relationship in the next beautiful connection that I get to have whenever that in divine timing, decides to come in. That way I can, call forth that perfect partner in a sense, right? In the new energy through this wisdom or whatever I can learn through this. So it's about creating what I've always wanted, and that's a healthy family. And that's going to start with me showing up for myself and being open to that wisdom.
It's fun getting used to this thing. It's good practice. I guess I'm going to tell you a little bit how I found Queen's Code and what it's done for me. Kind of start out, and then a little bit about how me and Steve have created our relationship, maybe. And one day he'll have to give his own talk, because it's been fun to watch him go, I learned this from you. And then we'll have like a theme for the week. And then he'll and I'm like, I taught you that. And then cause he'll explain like my inner thoughts that I didn't even know I was doing. So that's been really fun to see how these tools come out of his mouth just because I'm doing them. So that's been amazing. And so the Queen's Code found me in Costa Rica. I was there trying to not divorce my husband of 20 years in 2018, but knowing that it probably needed to end. I was in Costa Rica for a month visiting, just doing my own for the first time, leaving the country for a month and just trying to figure out, what was next for me and enjoying being me fully. And again, I was away from him long enough to realize I don't want to be in this marriage, and I keep finding that out. So I was staying at a friend's house and with a bunch of us, and one of them pulled up Queen's Code on her computer and helped me log in to her account on my laptop. And I was like, cool, okay, we'll do this. And then we went up to another girl's room, and she had the book sitting on her bed. I'm like, okay. Yeah, twice in one day in the same house. So my former talked me into letting him come to Costa Rica again to save the marriage again. And so I said, well, if you come, you have to stay for 2 weeks, and you have to stay a week after I go home so you can have your own adventure. And I go home and settle in with the kids. And so before he got there, I read about 75% of this and realized, okay, let's see how it goes, and there were so many things I needed to learn and practice. And there was a lot of things that weren't aligned with our past. So I still needed to end that marriage, but going through like the book and then the on again, off again boyfriend between Steve, and just keep learning and keep practicing and not beating myself up anymore, but just continuing to practice these tools. And then over and over, just learning about who I was and what, my strengths and how to stay in my own power with my feminine energy and what felt good to me. And then realizing men don't think the same as us. They're not even motivated by the same thing. And so more and more reading this going, oh my gosh, men are actually they have a natural drive to be helpful. They have a natural drive to be your protector and your provider. And it's just like built in them. And so part of this book is learning why men are so amazing and we don't know, why certain words like speak to their soul and just make them want to like be helpful and be providing. And it just like will naturally come out of them. Even yesterday, somebody was sharing about how someone commented about just gave him gratitude or what about there was a dish about doing the dishes, but the way he told the story, he used one of the hero's words, and he said he didn't know this, but listening to him, I did, and he spoke about being compelled to do a better job, compelled because she had used one of the words, and it was really fun to see that he expressed it that way, and that it validated the hero code. So the I'm going to kind of go through a little bit of after gleaming so long and all the reasons that this stuff works, kind of my own 4 tools to, I call it manifesting frequency match questions, where just put you in that frequency. And there's kind of 4 layers of where you're at with your relationships, frequency connections. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. And then the next week and whatever, people need to start reading that if they want to go through the course with us. But the biggest part is that you have to be able to go through the first half first. Because if you don't really understand men and don't have that commitment to respect yourself and them, the hero's language, I mean, we're manipulative witches sometimes. And if we don't really respect ourselves, and we're not going to bring out the best in them by respecting them and knowing what really can bring out the best in them and not being manipulative. Because I have seen it both ways. And then there's also like promises like, I won't beat myself up, but I commit to keep practicing. And then even with friends, like in the group, we are very much like, I won't let you whine about or beat yourself up that you did it wrong. I'm just going to hold you accountable to we're all committed to continuing to practice. Because it's not always easy. Like I think yesterday, I'm on my moon and stuff, and I still like had stuff come out of me where I'm like, okay, words came out of me like that. What's not working for me really? Because it's never about them. So I went in and go, okay, I need sleep. I need this. Okay, now my body can reset and I don't have a reason to defend anything. So I feel like for me, that's kind of when those crappy words can come out of our mouths that are emasculating. So it touches a lot about what is emasculating. Sometimes in society, we don't even know that those signals are emasculating. Like I didn't even know like rolling of the eyes can be emasculating or even like that, like to them, they can hear it. They pick up on the little cues in our voice. Yeah, interesting, right? And I mean, we think we're so subtle and stuff, but no, they know everything so well. I mean, yeah. Oh gosh. It's because it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But when you see men and their strengths and what really drives them and what their heart wants, which is to provide, which is to protect, which is to be helpful, which is like when you really know that that's their inner core, like all the other silly stuff that we don't understand why they do, there really is a good reason. Like there's a good reason probably you do something or you say something, and even when we don't know, they do. If you ask them and finding ways to be curious about why they do what they do, because you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you put the garbage can on that side of the sink? Why would you, like silly stuff that you think your version of the perfect person, it goes through that one too. That's a big one, is your version of the perfect person. You compare everyone around you to your version of the perfect person. And when you realize you're doing that to someone, especially a partner, you realize, oh crap, I mean, their yardstick's probably not what my yardstick looks like at all. At all. but we treat them like they're supposed to know this is what my version of the perfect person looks like for myself, and you better follow it. And if you don't, I'm going to make you wrong. And is that, that doesn't make sense to anybody. So there's really, hi, we haven't, do you want to introduce yourself and tell people why you think you're here? Yeah? I'll let her introduce it. But I just love this amazing, gorgeous goddess. Right now, she's my neighbor here at Hawaiian Sanctuary and her 14-year-old daughter's here. I'm so thrilled to have her in the circle and to be my neighbor right now. So, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, aloha. My name is Anya, and yeah, I'm here living at the Hawaiian Sanctuary next to Theresa, and I actually bought the Queen's Code when just soon after I transitioned out of my girl's dad's home. I left, or it was our home, but I left and became more of his. And I remember, I remember like very clearly buying it and reading some of it online as like an ebook. And then I don't believe that I finished it online because I was not great at finishing ebooks. But I was, I read a good amount and I like definitely got into the vibe. And so that was about 10 years ago? Yeah, it could have been anywhere from 10 to 8 because I was at the school for a couple of years. So yeah, and I was like super stoked that Theresa was bringing this here, and it's like, oh, I probably could use some brushing up on the Queen's Codes. And I deeply admire you for how you hold yourself in relationship and just in life and relationship with all beings, and your heart so wide open, and just feel like own your queen, own your queendom. And yeah, what you've manifested is so beautiful. And yeah, I feel like it's a continual journey and process, and I'm here to just keep rising with fellow queens and owning it, and bowing to my queendom and creation and all the queens and kings, queendoms that are rising and doing so righteously. And yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, we're gonna edit. I like the flow. I did want to tell you one story though. It was cute to hear Steve talk about the door openings, because that was a really big deal that I didn't. My dad very much was a king and very 7 children, and he passed last year, and such a king. But so he taught me that was special, but I didn't have it in my marriage with 4 kids. But with Steve, it just was something that because because of what I kept seeing, it was teaching people around me and teaching myself and him. I just kept going, okay, what am I really saying? What is it? And it kept being trust and respect. Like just that simple act is teaching trust and respect, that he gets to respect me and he gets to do that. Like he gets to do something in his physical body that tells him he respects his woman. And I get to allow that. And I get to sit there and wait and then allow that myself to receive that kind of respect, and then trusting that he wants to. And so every time we through the first year, every time we kind of get slacked on it or something, or he thought it was important, it would just still come back to me like, no, this is important. And every woman that sees you open the door will know, because it's important because I'm a mother and now a grandmother. I just think I want my girls to know, like, that's a simple thing, but it teaches so much, just that simple thing. And people notice in this culture, you know, and no, we don't need them to open our door. Yes, we can do it ourselves. And we can do lots of things ourselves, but the example and what I wanted it to bring in my relationship is why it kept being really important to me. And so I would just take the time to really patiently tell him why it meant that, what it meant to me and why it was important and why it was helpful, and use the, you know, the hero language to just let him know. And we've had some really funny stories with that. Sometimes I'd sit in the car for 15 minutes because I just felt it was important, and I was able to express it in a way that, you know, with the language that spoke to his heart, that, yeah, I want to do that. I want to create that in my relationship. So it's beautiful. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class and why you think you're here? Okay, never mind. Okay, we're not doing it on the Zoom thing. Oh, perfect. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. I know. I know. Michelle's the best. She's our marketing girl here. So amongst everything else. Yeah. Thank you. I'm really excited too. So what we talked about how we found the book pulled. I think there's 3 people in here that have at least seen it and maybe read some of it, read it all the way. And so next week we're kind of going to start. I kind of did a review on some of the things we're going to talk about, but I want to kind of go through what I gleaned as a relationship coach and like on my journey of like frequency match. Like I kind of went through this path when I went through like trying to find my divine relationships and trying to figure out what that even meant for me. And so next week, if you want to buy the book online or wherever, we're going to go through that. But this week it's just kind of going to be, well, we already discussed all that stuff, and now we're just going to go frequency match questions I went through. So when I got to the island, I was kind of in this phase of doing this frequency match, like emotions, like how does it feel when you're happy? How does it feel when you're sad? And just like letting my body move into those different emotions of frequency. And so then I wrote my own for relationships to like create those seasons in my life of where I was at. And so there's kind of like 4 seasons of what I went through because the first one was, how does it feel to be in a divine relationship with yourself? And so you try not to answer it with your brain. You try to answer it with your heart and your body. And like, so just close your eyes and go, how does it feel to be in divine relationship with myself? And just like, yeah, just ask and then just feel it in your body. And what I was doing when that was my process is I was living alone for the very first time on the other side of the island in Waiakaloa Village. And I had never lived alone before. I have 6 siblings, family of 9. I was raised, and then I had 4 kids, and I got married, went to college with roommates, moved home, got married, you know, nice little Mormon girl from Utah, got married, didn't know what her body parts were for time and all eternity in the Mormon church, you know. The Church of Jesus Christ will everything. Whatever. That's what my intention was. And so you know, trying on and off my skills and the skills that were mirrored to me and that kind of society and the beauty of it. And then moving through, you know, letting go of religion, then figuring out, well, what do I want? It's not forever and I don't have to be in this wrong relationship that's not working for me in these disease, then what do I really want? And what do I want to feel in that relationship? And so to live alone for the first time in Hawaii in it for a month and just like have those moments where like, how does it feel to be in divine relationship with myself? And I was in a really good place with myself and just enjoyed what it felt like to live alone for the first time. Like, how does it feel like to be alone? It's like, oh, walking around and being naked for a whole day. That's what the day that I decided, oh, that's what it feels like to live alone. So it was amazing. And then as I went through that, I went through, what does it feel like to be fully supported by the divine masculine? The second question and second level is, how does it feel to be fully how does it feel to be fully supported by the divine masculine? And that may be like you're dating or you have friends or, but that doesn't mean lovers or committed or you have a boyfriend. It just means, how does it feel to just know that men are helpful? Like they're just naturally helpful, built into them, and they just be comfortable receiving and like practice receiving. Because the woman, like, we are built to receive, and if there's no one to give or receive, we just have to be able to receive, like the door opening or a car or a phone or whatever it is. Like if we are like saying no to those things because we're independent, we can do it ourselves. Well, yeah, we can. And and in a relationship where they can't be who they are a lot of times without the confidence and the strength of a woman. Like, there are so many things I've learned, especially in this relationship where I really just saw my value over and over and over again, just me sitting in the room. Like that blew me away when I started seeing my value just by sitting in the room. And yeah. And the way, a good woman protects her man just by sitting there, because then he doesn't have to worry about the question marks. We don't have to worry about the question marks. We can just be happy and know we've got each other's back and live in that. How does it feel to be fully supported by the divine masculine for us women and for women? And then too, how does it feel to be completely supported by the divine feminine? And, so by our sisters, and just be nurtured and happy and know that that's just part of being a woman, just nurturing and being loving. So those are that's level 2, is those 2 questions. So if I'm doing in the session for a man, it would be, how does it, I really look on, well, are you able to be nurtured by a woman? Are you able to accept that a woman wants to just come over and rub your shoulders or scratch your head or cook you dinner just because she's your friend, or because it's your mom? So you're kind of healing those 2 relationships with a masculine and feminine side, when you're like, how does it feel to be fully supported by those 2 energies? And then you're happy. You don't need a man. You can be totally happy right there. Stay at level 2. But level 3 is, for me, was, how does it feel like to be in divine partnership? Like, how does it feel like to be in divine partnership? And be curious about that feeling. And then you just keep walking forward. And I was in a place where I was like dating like 3 guys, and I had so much fun, and I was only going to be on the island for 3 months. So I was just going to have fun with friends and see what happened. And I had like a rock star boyfriend and our artist friend, a maintenance guy friend, and met Steve Lund. And so he had a blast because he had to work for it and wait it out. I really did make him work for it, though. He would call me and I'd be hanging out with another guy friend, and he'd ask me to dinner. I'd say, well, I'm hanging out with so-and-so, but we can come. So he would have to pay for me and a chaperone, basically, because I was just having fun. And I'm like, I don't care who you think you are or how much money you have. It doesn't matter to me. What matters if you can handle all of who I believe I'm supposed to be in this world and all that I believe I am in the world. And I knew that it was going to take a special man to hold all this going on. 4 kids, 3 granddaughters. Are you kidding? Like, that's a lot of relationship commitment that both parties usually have. And so to have that mirror with Steve Lund's and mine and all the relationship that, both of you have has been a lot. But so sit in that question for a minute. How does it feel like to be in divine relationship? How does it feel like? What does it feel like to be in divine? How would it feel to be in divine relationship? So yeah, even like close your eyes and just like try to answer it with your heart without words. Just how does it feel to live in divine partnership? After Steve and I were committed, it was like we were like staring at each other going, there you are. Okay. Now what? Hey, because like now what? You found someone that you want to create an amazing divine relationship with, and then what? And I was on my question path. So then I decided the next question was, how does it feel like to thrive in my divine partnership? What is it? What do you want to create together? Because, anyone can have a relationship, but what do you want to create together? What does your path look like together separately, and keep walking it? So I guess now I'm going to, if you want to use the mic, you can, and just say your name and, oh, okay. And they can hear on here? And then repeat what you say, shorter? Okay. So you want to go first? What, so, mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy exchange would feel different. So she said, what would it feel like to be in a divine partnership was the question. And what, even if you're on a different level of question, but her answer was that you have to surrender and a more equal exchange of energy. Mm. Yeah, yeah. And you didn't, or, yeah, there's a tools in here you want to keep them in the give mode so that you're always receiving, because they're like driven by giving and providing and protecting and helping. But then we don't let them do it because they didn't do it our way, man. They put the thing on the wrong side of the sink. I do that all the No, this goes over here. They should know my version of the perfect kitchen. I'm dealing with that one right now. Settle into the kitchen. No, this is going to be my version of the perfect kitchen. but yeah, you want this? So, math teacher. Mm, mm, mm. So she said a divine partnership would allow her to have bigger dreams because there's two of you, so you can dream bigger. Yeah, and you support each other. Sometimes Steve and I say when we got together, it was like now there's 10 people because this motivation is different and what you can accomplish because you have that partnership is different. Mm. It could equal 10 or a posterity of kids. Yeah, the dream. I love that it can mean creating bigger dreams and wants. I love that. That's pretty awesome. Miss Anita. Now, what does it feel to be in a divine relationship? Divine. Mm. So creating interdependence.
Allow them to be supported.
Mm-hmm.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
I thought, and it probably is a big turn-off.
She doesn't need me. Their deepest desire is to be needed. And she keeps telling me she needs me. Well, I got to go. Yeah. Yep. Healthy interdependence when there's a divine relationship. Awesome. Hi. Welcome to the class. We kind of went we started a little late. It's kind of, yeah. 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 What would it feel like to be in a divine partnership? Mm-hmm. Higher purpose. That God's the center of the relationship. Yeah. 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 When you said that, there's another book that was kind of on my relationship journey, and it's called Real Love by Greg Baird. And that's, yeah, I can't remember now what I was why it triggered that, but that's a good one too on my journey. So in having, you said, having God at the point as the focus and purpose and the spiritual connection. Yeah. The higher purpose. Yeah. That's definitely true for me, for sure. I didn't feel like I had that spiritual relationship like I thought I was going to get in my first partnership. But it's so amazing when you have that purpose and drive. I feel like it's like it cuts off your hearing on that side. Oh, I can. Diane, are you there? Diane, are you there? Oh, are you going to share, Missy? Have you read the Queen's Code?
I
Okay.
haven't read all of it, but what
there
I
you are.
did read, I liked.
Oh, you guys can't hear her. Can you hear her? Yeah, I'll let her go first if you can hear her. No.
You can't hear me?
Oh, you can't hear you. You can tell me in my ear and then I can repeat it.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that I feel like it talks a lot about honoring people in general and just learning that language that, speak to men.
She said the Queen's Code taught her the language she needed to know to speak to men. Okay,
well, I
cool.
feel like that's what it talks about. So,
yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn you mute again, but I'm happy you're on there.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay. Okay. Hi, Kiki. How does it feel to be in a divine partnership? So you're supposed to close your eyes and feel it. Glitters with gold. Hmm. Hmm. Like being in a movie. Glittery and shiny. Wah, wah, wah. I gotta make sure they hear your wah, wah for the glittering and shining. Yeah. Yeah. So life becomes like the little moments.
But I really like what you said too about the interdependence, like not
Interdependent,
but
healthy interdependence.
because that's the thing. Because I've had some partners who are beautiful at first, and then it just fizzles, and so guilty. It's like not the clean. It's like, oh, where did they go? And it didn't last. So that sustaining of the human, not all.
Yeah.
But the sustaining of the human to be able to value the other person.
Yeah. When that spot where it just changes and it's not working, it's called frog farming. It's chapter 1. Frog farming. Yeah, chapter 1 is about frog farming. What? No, it's when you meet a king and because of your behavior, you turn them into a frog because then what you start doing behaviors that make them like repel. Because now you're doing emasculating behaviors or like doing the, oh, I got to be independent. Da, da, da. And they're like, well, I got to go. You're turning a king into a frog farming. Or yeah, we're trying to turn all men into kings, all of them. And when you learn the language, like it just naturally brings it out of them because you have that intention too with your words. But first you got to learn how you're doing it, why you're doing it, to be committed to practicing that, that men are amazing and what their gifts are to the world. They're not just misbehaving hairy women. Hi. Miss Anya's up. Feeling, is that your answer? I think it is. That's the vibration I was getting from her purring. Does it feel like to be in a divine partnership? Oh. Waltzing lights. I love when people sing in frequencies and colors. Mm. 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 Joy and instinct. Mm. relaxing into the chest. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I love that when you said that I could see like I could see like a volcano. Like the hard crusty is like the man holding the boundaries and the woman is like the fire going, okay, we're gonna do this, but you got me right. I'm gonna do this, and now you got me right. So yeah. When be, before I moved to before I moved out here, I lived with my parents in my parents' basement for a while, and was leaving a relationship that needed to end for the fifth time. and but I got to be around my dad, and I just felt really honored to see my dad and like his king and his like that energy of just feeling his unconditional love, and it just kind of melted me. Someone else was talking about before they came out here, they just got to spend time with their dad. But you have like that energy of like what an unconditional dad feels like that can be your vision of what a male God looks like, and just the unconditional love. And I feel like that really supported me in feeling into it too. Like even just like feeling his like unconditional love, he's got my back, like he's always there. Those two energies, but just being around my parents and their wisdom years and that elderly energy just really helped me know what I wanted it to feel like to have that respect and trust with a man. And that energy of, okay, I can do this, I can do this. I can trust this and keep working on it, or keep creating it. I should say, keep creating it. Yeah, do we want to do like question? I hate that we can't like hear. I might pass this around because I really want people to hear your questions and all your stories and we get recorded. So if you want to be on this, you can. But I kind of just want to go to question answers. Like if you guys have any questions, I'll see what kind of can come out of me. And do you have that other book, Making Sense of Men? So there's also another book. There's also another book that's a 70-pager that she does called Making Sense of Men. And it's a 70-pager because it was written off of a seminar she did. And that book blew my mind, right? Yeah, I think Kiki gets it next. Yeah, do the mic for that. I know.
Yeah, you don't know you're not gonna that's with me. Hi, you're just gonna listen. So I'm right here. So that book was super great because it goes that women think about men like that they're a hairy woman. So yeah. So one of the big things that they do, like when the 3 months are up and the woman goes, okay, it's time for the question, how are you feeling? How do you feel about me? And where's this going? And the man like takes a moment to think about it and to contemplate. And then he goes, I care about you. And the woman's like thinking, I care about my dog. I care about my car. I care. You care. That's nothing. So she gets upset. But the thing is caring. When the man says, I care about you, he's actually saying, I want to take care of you. I want to protect you. I want to be there for you. I want you to be in my life. And that right there, just like that alone, I could have just stopped right there because I was like, whoa. But then like I told that I've had that conversation with the guy, and I have, and it totally made, I was like, that's ridiculous. You care about me? Like exact conversation. And I was upset when he was saying what I wanted him to say, but it just wasn't my language. So the other things too that they talk about are that like the sexual attraction, there's two attractions and we've only been taught one, which is the sexual, and the guy, the book says no matter what butt you have or what body you have, there's a guy that's going to love it. And so you don't have to keep trying to be what you think they want you to be. Just be your body. Just enjoy your body, and they will enjoy you. And but the first sexual attraction, if that sex does not mean they're going to turn into the prince, because they just wanted the sex and they just felt the sex. How you get to have the relationship you want It's by actually your own self-confidence, your own authenticity of who you are, not trying to be who you think they want you to be yourself, have your own passions of what lights you up in the world, and your sensuality, the energy, the sensual energy that you have is also a turn on. But the last one, which was in total caps, which I never do, was well, receptivity. And I'm always like, no, thanks, I got it. Like even today, there was a guy trying to help me down these rocks. And for me, it's like, I didn't want him to think I liked him. So I said no. When I could have just said, yeah, thank you so much for your help. And just, and so, yeah. And then I noticed I did that. And I was like, oh, I did that. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a practice. Yeah. Making Sense of Men, it's super easy to read.
So how do we respond to somebody trying to help us, but it wasn't helpful? Or like, no, I'm serious. So like if I'm doing a project, okay, I'm trying to think. I was doing like a garden project and I thought, okay, I've worked so hard pulling out all the weeds, getting all straightened up, all cleaned up. And then the last thing I need to do is dump the stones out. And I was so excited to dump the rocks out. I don't know why, that was so satisfying to me. And then I'm contemplating, do I want to put down like a plastic, or maybe I need to research something to spray so the weeds don't come immediately back. And so I got help by somebody dumping the rocks out. And it was really upsetting to me because I wanted to do that. So how do I not emasculate and receive the help and then decide, am I going to undo this and redo it the way I planned, or just let it go? And the weeds came back in like a month. It was full of weeds. And how do I not have a resentment later for these weeds? And I know this is like a silly, but do you know what I mean? Like I want to receive the help, but that wasn't helpful. So how do I approach that? Anyway, I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Okay, that's a great question. This is probably what I would do, because I know I can feel all those emotions from you. But the first thing was, what's the most important thing? Like how much do you care about this person? Way more than the rocks, way more than the weeds. This is your best friend in the whole freaking world, and he just wants to die with you. And I'm going to worry about the weeds, or the other, use the words about like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you wanted to help me. And I wondered if you could help me take them back out, because I was really hoping I could put that down for the weeds. What do you think? Because then they still get to be your hero. You still give them an opportunity to be your hero. You gave them a love sandwich because you thank them. Thank them. Yes, yeah. But if you always, if you always remember your main priority is, this is my best friend. Their drive is to be helpful and love you and provide muscles. They just provided muscles for you. They provided being helpful in their minds. And why would you want to cut off your heroes? Like stab him. But you're I can imagine. But it happens all the time. Yeah, what do I really want from this? Is it more important that I'm right and I want to stab him and tell him, crap, they pulled the rocks and I have weeds? Or or are we going to take the time to love our friend and let him be our heroes anyways, even though he did the wrong step first? That's what I would say. Because, we can stab him all day long. That's easy. That's easier. And then we got to clean up the stabbing. Or we can yeah, or we might have to, and depending on the guy, or and if we keep stabbing them, they're going to turn into frog. We don't need frog, you know. That's what I would say if my objective was that I love this man. I know he wants to be with me forever. Intentions and the weeds. Every time I look at the weeds, I'm going to create a different story. This man loves me, and he provided muscle. I would just, and that's what I would do. And then if it really mattered to me, I would ask him a different. Can you help me redo this? Because I really love da 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 da. It's an interesting skill to keep practicing speaking forward into what we do want to have happen, and keep that like our goal. Like I want to, and what you want to feel too. Like it's, what do you want to feel? You want to feel mad? Resentful? No, it's a waste of energy. I don't want to, you know, and we can go there easy like that. That's like I feel like our body like naturally like goes like, but it's the practice of realign. What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? What do I want to, opportunity? I had some good ones. Let me think about one that I was really proud of myself, was about him poking at me about certain things, like kind of being a teasing little brother or big brother, like stuff like that would come out of Steve. But it gave me a chance to practice my communication skills of gratitude and not be mad or not be, how come you said that? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I can't believe you said that to me. You're so rude. Or, you know, da, da, da. You know, not go into that because I respected him, but expressing my needs and my emotional desires to him was what I was committed to for myself. And so he was poking at something that made me feel like he was poking at like me being fat or like I ate too much. And to me, that's like something every woman works on, you know what I mean? But then I realized, though, he's insecure about what he's eating and da da da. But what I need to feel is, and so I turned to him later after I thought about it, because I realized like there was a little, so I looked at it, and then I was able to go, you know, Steve, actually, I've been working on my self-care for a really long time and my self-love. And anything that doesn't come out, so I appreciate you always supporting that, because it's been really important to me to love all of this. And I work really hard at loving all of this. So, and that one, for some reason, that sentence, that it didn't support that right now. So while I'm working on that, can you just not say it that way for a while? And he was like, good job, babe. And he gave me 5. And I was so proud of myself. I think the biggest thing this relationship's taught me is like how much I can slow down if I think about it, and just be grateful that he's standing there. And remember, he does want to be my hero in all the things, all of them. And he didn't know, like, how's he supposed to know that da, da, da. That's his, all the words are about him. All his words are about him and his reality. And he can give me feedback for mine, but my words are my reality. So it's been really interesting to put together all my years of practice and all the studies that I've had and all the relationships I've had that haven't worked or I've done it wrong, and learned so much. So, yeah. Do you have a question or anything? Okay. Yeah. Anyone have a question about anything? Oh, yeah. I think we have 1 or 2 people. Do you have any questions? Oh, wait, I don't know how to do that. Did you just push this button? Diane, are you there? You got a question?
No, baby.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. She said no.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah. Did it go back to me? She said no. Okay. Hello? Okay. Anyone have questions? Kiki? Comments, questions?
I actually have a question. I don't know if it's a question. It's kind of a comment though.
Okay, so Kiki started talking, so I'm going to let her go for it. So we're going to listen to her, okay? I'm going to set a comment. You good? Okay, Diane, are you there?
Mine's kind of funny.
Okay, so
Um,
you say it slower so I can, because they can't hear you. I have to repeat what you
okay.
say.
So today I was calling. I'll just go slow.
Today you're calling.
About a rental.
She was calling about a rental.
And I complimented the gentleman,
She complimented the gentleman.
apparently in very wonderful Queen's language.
Good. She complimented the man in very good Queen's language.
I didn't know I was doing it though.
You didn't know you're doing. Well, we're.
And soon after, he started hitting on me. And now I have
soon
an
after she
invitation. Keep going. You got it.
Soon after she started getting it, he started hitting on her, and she got an invitation to
Yeah,
what?
He's like, you call me anytime. And
Oh,
when you're ever driving by his
you
location,
can call me anytime.
I would love to see you. And I was just thinking,
Yeah, we want to
oh
know
my
what you
goodness.
said.
I was like, all I said was, I complimented something about something he had advertised in his ad. And I said, well, you're very smart. I mean, that's so wise to be able to, protect yourself and be able to use that strong communication. So, yeah.
His communication skills and his ad for his
and his boundaries.
Apartment. That's awesome.
Anyway.
That's true, because men are wise. Just listen to him talk long enough. They'll tell you all the good stuff.
Right?
I'm going to hand the seat. Okay. I just love it if they can hear you too and it gets recorded. Oh, in this one? Oh, I want to ask you that question too. Yeah, yeah. And so it could be really different. Like continue and learn some of these like key things and even just because of the previous program. So like for me, it took me a long time to digest it. So I'm even impressed with myself that I finished the book. But like I would like to read a little bit and learn some of the and then sleep on it, watch it, and touch myself and not angry with myself or set it I feel like I'm a pretty chill person. So but for me not having divine partnership like that, I kind of thinking, yeah, no, that was good. I feel like, yeah, share a favorite. Can I hand you this though? I want them to be able to.
Yeah, after the frog farming part, I did have to really take time to think about that. And I was like, wow, yep, that's exactly what I've been doing. Because it's like, why aren't these men understanding me? Like, I'm very clear and I get to the point of what I need or what I want, but it still wasn't the right approach. So that was kind of, yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, I needed some time to really digest that. Yeah, you really, and I'm still working on that, honestly. Like at a young age, my father asked me, like, why am I here? Like, why do I exist? And I guess I took it the wrong way my whole life. I was kind of like, I have to defend myself? What? You made me. Like, what? And just little things that I'm now reflecting on that I'm like, oh, okay, that's probably not what he meant at all. But I've carried that, because I heard it wrong or I didn't know how to understand like, oh, I care about you. Oh, I want to care for you. Wait, what? You care about me? I care about what I'm eating for dinner tonight. What is that? And just really kind of thinking about it differently. But yeah, I have another book to read next now.
Yeah, her stuff is, yeah, but it does go in layers. That really helped a lot too. I'm trying to think if there's one part right now that the part that I'm at, I think, is a chapter called Pumpkin Hours. And I feel like you're Cinderella. Yeah, you're Cinderella. Like when you're available for intimacy. Yeah, or I'm gonna turn to pumpkin because I don't have any energy to share with you. There's a chapter that I'm kind of working on right now called Pumpkin Hours, which means you're gonna have the discussion of when you're available for special time. Yeah. Yeah, like it will start you two out and then you'll become resentful because you didn't get enough sleep and don't have enough sleep for the tomorrow's activities. Yeah. Yep. Before you turn in pumpkin. And so if you let them be, so the conversation with your partner is like, okay, well, I'm available for sex before this time of night, but I will be resentful if I say yes, even if it's later and it gets later and we're having a party and, in the bedroom. But so it has you, so that was probably my favorite chapter that I'm working on right now. But yeah, yeah. Because if you don't have those conversations in there, it creates resentment and they don't know why. They're like, what do you mean? We just had the best night of our lives. And you're going, I couldn't even stay awake today. I had to work. It's all your fault. And then you don't even get to remember it as in this fond way that they just connected and took you to the moon and back because you're so freaking tired the next day. All you can remember is he made me or, whatever stupid stuff it is because you're too tired. Your brain doesn't work. So there's that one. The what? Yes, it's a good one. Yeah, yeah, don't turn into a pumpkin. Just this, yeah, because I won't have anything to give you anyways. Yeah, I have nothing to share anyways. I'm not the Energizer Bunny. It's true. Yeah, everything. No, 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 no. Boom, boom. Mm. That's the chapter I'm working for. Do you have a question? Oh, this is, oh yeah. Oh. TMI. Yeah, and you light the fire. There, yeah, that's a chapter too about what are your, in that chapter there's a lot about the jump, what you find out what each other's jump start is. Yeah, this is our invitation. What's an invitation? Say that again. What your jump start. This lights my fire. Yep. Yep. So it suggests that with your partner that you discuss like what your jumpstart words are, what gets your fire going, and and yeah, and then what is an invitation? Like there's the jumpstart question, and then what's the invitation? Like what means you're like open to it. And like so the book is actually written really cool because it's written in as a novel. So it takes you through getting to know these two. It's an older woman and she has this knowledge that her family has passed down for generations and in generations their study of men. And so she and the in that family you were only supposed to teach your bloodline. But she's getting older and she has a granddaughter who she raised or something, but she never got the opportunity to teach her stuff. And then the teacher, she gets permission to decide she's going to teach the school teacher who's been married 20 years and they want to have a baby. So then the story goes to her teaching her granddaughter and this teacher this teacher who's been married 20 years and then her granddaughter who's divorced. And so it kind of goes back and forth between narratives and then every chapter ends with like her writing down like a lesson plan of what that was because they wanted to, write it down, take notes so they can teach it to other women. So it's a fun read, but then at every chapter you're going, okay, what was the notes and like what thinking points should I go through when, like noticing. One of the big one was noticing when you have what thoughts you have about men. That's a good one first one to practice is what, like when you go through the day, like you either hear emasculating things or you think emasculating things. Oh my God, they're stupid. Oh my gosh, what a retard. Oh my gosh, they're so immature. All the little things and then go, none of that's true, actually. It's something else. Everything they do has a good reason. We just might not know what it is. So being curious about these men and like the things they do around us when all that we think is, oh, they're immature. Oh, why did they do it that way? Or, oh, they're such, whatever it is that's put down, they did it for a good reason. We just, need to be curious enough to be able to talk to our best guy friends about like, I'm learning a lot about men right now. Can you tell me, is it okay if I ask you why you did that? Or I'm learning a lot about men. Is it okay as we hang out, if there's something I don't understand why you did it, is it okay if you tell me, if I ask you and you tell me? Because I'm really curious. I'm learning the difference between, and and like going through that process is really like being curious because, and then the Alison Armstrong talks about how, it just made her more and more driven to like get to know men. Because if you really stop and talk to them, most men have thought about what they're going to say. Like they've really like put together their opinion, but they won't share it with you if you keep talking over them. And men don't interrupt each other like women do. We can leapfrog conversations or have 10 conversations in the room and we kind of all follow each other. But with a man, men don't really do that kind of. So sometimes I'll be in a group of one woman and like 3 men. And the 3 men I'll be having a conversation with 3 men, but then her and I will be also having a conversation at the same time over the top of following these conversations. It's sometimes really interesting that it is going on, but it really is. It really is. And then we're like guessing, like we're having fun, like guessing, like, oh, I got that one. Oh yeah, they're funny this way. Or, oh, that really meant this because we've been really trying to figure out like why men say what they do. And it's been really fun. It's funner when you start studying it together and then you go, oh, the good reason they did that is, and then you can find it more easily because you are all our stuttering men and you're all committed to like respecting them because then we get to hero them and enjoy them and then enjoy a way we get to feel feminine because they're in there. I want to help you. I mean, if anyone walks around here like that, it's like, Joe, we have somebody around that he just always wants to be helpful, always wants to make sure that things are, yeah. And if you let him, it's like feels something for them. So receptivity. I know in that book, that was the last chapter is like picture. You gotta take pictures of the last chapter in the graphs. And yeah, it's amazing. I'm trying to think what else was in my favorite in the book. So many things that just like go, I didn't know I was emasculating. I didn't, what? Or that meant what? Yeah. Yeah, and they don't, and what I do love about that too is there's like even a graph of like what words they say that's actually saying something else. Like, can I buy you dinner? What is it? I want to spend time with you. I want to provide for you. I want to take care of you. Like, there's so many things. Can I take you to dinner? Actually saying. Well, you didn't agree to that. And a lot of times that's really the only thing they want, see if they can take you for dinner. You don't owe them anything. That, just sitting across from you and looking at a beautiful woman's company they got fed just by having company. You don't own nothing. And I don't think most of them expect that anyways. We just think they do. Yeah. I think there was I think it said that, talked about food in that book too. So anyways, okay, Anya, did you have a question? Did you come up with one? I don't know. You do? Okay. You farmed a frog. It's really about learning how to ask a certain way that feeds them instead of whatever our language is. It's a really, and I'm glad you brought that up because there is a lot about how do we get what we need from them. By the what? Oh, she asked basically, how do you get what you need out of men? Like sometimes women are nurturing, over nurturing, or naturally nurturing, and so maybe they take advantage of, or they're good at. Is that right? They're good at providing and stuff before a lot, but then when you ask for something, maybe they didn't know how, they won't give it to you, or you don't know how to get it from them. Like, yeah, so that's what I would say is there is words that like bring out the best in them and help them naturally want to give that to you because like compelling. It's almost like compelling. I don't know. Go look at my house. I did a pretty good job. That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm gonna say. I love my house. I feel like very accomplished. I feel like sometimes I look at Steve and I's life or even just what we've been able to accomplish in a year and a half together. And I think, good job. Thank you. Good job. And it's like my greatest relationship work because I just really took the time. I carried that making sense of men in my bag for like so many times because there was like things that would go on and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? We're not like talking right now. Is he like, and instead of like making up that there's something wrong so I can have tension, it's just, no, sometimes they're just happy. They get fed being in the room with a confident woman. Like men actually really need to be around women and it feeds their soul. And they don't necessarily even not talk to them. It's just they can receive so much by just the presence and like being happy that there's a beautiful woman sitting there, a confident woman sitting there. Yeah. I used to hang around with 5 dudes and it was fun, but very much like this is our friendships and they liked all broed out. That's fun. I'm not teaching the language yet because you have to go through the first part of the book. You know what I mean? But I mean, I can just say as much as like gratitude is always the best thing. This, but because if when you go through this book, you really need to go through the first half, because if you don't understand the other parts and commit to that, to practicing something else, which is bringing out the best, being yourself so you can bring out the best in them, then the other stuff, yeah, it can create damage in their soul if you don't take the first steps first. So yeah, and make those commitments. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah. Yeah, because you notice it. Yeah. 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 I don't think I need to record. I don't think anyone else is on there now, but what? Yeah, it's really interesting because sometimes I don't want to even be friends with women because I'll find myself listening to that kind of language where they're talking shit about their man or blaming them or putting them down, and then I like get into that mindset and start doing it with Steve, and then I'm like, holy, oh my gosh, it got on me. Get it off. Get it off. Like, get it off. Because just clear it. Yeah. Yeah. Or going into victim mode about like blaming your partner and all of it's wrong to him. But yeah, I have a hard time listening to it very well long because it gets into my system and I don't want to think that way about my partner. And so it's really beautiful to do it as a group because then you're all holding each other accountable and helping each other remember, like later, maybe, actually that's kind of emasculating. Remember, da, 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 and then you can support each other in holding those standards again of like, no, they're amazing. And let's compliment that, do the thing where you're heroing them and remembering how beautiful it is that we can be like supported by amazing men and it feeds their soul. So to do that as a group, I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about that. I did this book club in Utah once, and it was interesting to see the different levels of relationships. I think it was a group of women I think we were all married or in a relationship. So the conversations were different. And one of them, I had known her for, I don't know, she'd been married for 20 years, but there was still like that language in her that of blaming and victim and da 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 da. And I struggled, but I was really happy for her commitment to keep practicing this. And now she's just even more and more happy because she doesn't have to worry about the stupid stuff that doesn't matter anymore. She can just be happy that he's such a good provider. She has like 7 kids with him. And, that's a lot of work. But to change your language and realize like what he's committed to so that you can just be confident and healthy and happy and that's your focus and that's all they want anyways. So does that answer? And then I also wanted to say something about that book with that too. I just can't remember what it is right now. It will come to me. Thanks for being so vulnerable. I'm really happy Shannon's here. Shannon's actually the reason this got started this week. Because she is. So we can all thank Shannon. And then I also, one of my favorite things in my relationship with Steve Lund is I always wanted a couples motto. People have like mission statements in their relationships and stuff. Well, I never had one of those, but my personal motto was I'm a courageous royal daughter of love. A courageous royal daughter of love was my personal motto, and Steve's was to courageously evolve. And then there was another book I read that said that marriage is the only thing marriage is a commitment to continue to practice unconditional love. So together, I put it, and I have it on keychains now, because I put it on little plaques in my room, and I've given them away. But it says, "We are courageously evolving royal couple committed to practicing unconditional love." So that's our whole commitment to each other, and it just has been really fun to stay committed to that and see how. I mean, look at this place. It's like, so you can't not evolve. You can't not evolve here. There's so many conversations you have to have with so many people all the time to practice your communication skills, your respect, your trust, your clarity, your emotional intelligence, like all the things. And so to practice this in community is incredible. So, yay. Any final notes, or I'll just end there, or yeah. So my offer is, like, if you have a donation, then there's that, but I want to continue to just talk about this, and then anyone who wants to get the book, or you can buy it online, and then we'll just continue every Tuesday for a while and see how we can support each other going through this process. That's what I'm feeling. So as long as our people committed and showing up to the process, then we'll keep doing it. And who knows, it will grow. And people can catch up or anything, but I really want people who are committed to their own process of learning these skills on their own and practice them in all the communities they're in, whatever men they have in their lives, friends, whatever. Because it will, I really do believe it will change the world. And the more we hold each other to that standard of honoring each other's differences, it's changed mine. I will never be the same. I can't go back. And when I miss, what? Mm-mm. Yep. What is that behavior? Is that a mating call? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm excited for you because I know you have a lot of friends that are men, and it can be confusing. But you're gonna have so much fun. Like, yeah. Number 4, receptivity. Receptivity, because they do like respond to us. And if we're receptive, they're gonna light up like a balloon and light up like a light, and then they just want to do it more, and then we're receptive again, or we're not, And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much you can be receptive to. Keep practicing being receptive. She got a ring, 3 of them. Yeah, she got it, like 3 rings, being receptive. She has to. Yeah, I'm really proud of her. I've definitely seen her partner change and evolve with her. It's been beautiful. Just the beginning. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Make him a king. That was cool. That's what Steve said something like that. Takes a woman to make him a king. No, I think he told me that. Yeah. Yeah. No, they always do. you don't always know what it is, but it's helpful to believe that they always have a good reason for what they're doing, even if we have no idea what it is. Yes, nothing to do with us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. It's not about you. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that because, yeah, she was saying Abraham Hicks and this go together really well. Yeah, yeah, a lot of ways, like how it tells you to manifest with, Abraham Hicks, and you put it with these tools. It's like, it's just even more easy. It's more easy, easier. Yeah. And so if you order online, it's the cheapest on her website, or I think you can get it digital or hard copy. I want to order a bunch more of those making sense of men. Those are so, I know, maybe we should go over that one next week more, but yeah, we'll keep talking about this and go through the process. So thanks. Aloha.